G'day my friends, Marty We're here from Marty's Garden. I've got a very interesting topic for you today, video, to do with rentals and gardening. And is it really worth actually starting a garden, an edible garden, if you are a renter? And look, I'm going to weigh up all the possibilities and the reasons why you should, and we'll look at obviously why you shouldn't. And I know that a lot of people are going to comment in this comment section down below in this video. And I'm going to provide some things that I think most people don't think of or have thought of, but don't really weigh it up as something that is extremely valuable. Now, I'm going to start off with the first point of why I believe you should start an edible garden. And we'll look at some things of easier ways you can do it. We'll talk about that more towards the end. But I believe one of the main things we should do and do it is because of health reasons. Look, Australia has had an invasion of chemicals just impaired on, I was going to say, bombarded onto it since, after World War II, of the generation of new types of synthetic fertilizers, and then the synthetic fertilizers having issues with pests and disease and stuff, so you introduce all these different fertilizers. Then over time, all these new chemicals and things, preservatives and sweeteners and things like sucrose, artificial sugars, all these things that create all these problems. Now, we didn't have all these health issues. If you look back into early 1900s and beyond, people died of things like tuberculosis and other stuff, not so much heart attacks and all these things, because they've come in with this crazy food pyramid and told us we should eat this way and that way, and then introduced all these nasty foods into this processed food. And you just got to look at the packaging when you walk into the shopping these days. Everything's packaged. Even though they're talking about reducing plastic, they just package more stuff and put more things in there, preserve it, sweeten it up, make it better, and get you even addicted to certain foods. And so this is one of the main reasons, I think. Oh, itchy nose. Excuse me. This is what happens when you're filming sometimes. And I've got to keep rolling because this is my third take at it, right? So people forget, or we just get so complacent with it because we're in so much of a hurry. And then later on we get unhealthy and we're wondering why we think we're eating these good foods. And really, I believe that eating whole foods is really more of an answer of getting back to good health. Even myself recently, I've decided to remove some foods out of the kitchen cupboard because I just know that there's things in them like sucrose and corn syrups and seed oils and things, and they're showing up more and more how bad they are for you. So this is really one of the things that I think why we should consider, if we're just renting, to growing some of our own food and really decreasing the amount of this, food that's just full of artificial crap into our diet, and getting a more of a whole food onto our plates. And I'm an advocate of, if you're growing food here, to try and get around about 25% on your plate with a meal, even if it's just one meal a day. But if you can do it with 3 meals a day, even great. And one fast way we can do that is through salads and herbs and things like that to flavor our meals and to put on the side. So sprouts, microgreens, salads, baby leaf salads, things like that are very simple to grow quickly and to eat within season. It's not real good eating salads in the cold winter. It's just not good for you. But you can grow other things that would go into soups and things like that would use different herbs and different things that are warming for the body, right? So there's one of the main reasons I think that we should look at it. Now, probably the hardest thing about it is we go, hey, but Marty, that just costs so much to do now. And really the beginning part is the most expensive, because when you're renting, you really just want to do container gardening, to be honest. If you're just short-term rentals, if you're in a long-term rental and you're going to be there for years and years, you can set up more gardens and things like that and start just slowly expanding out over time to get more food onto your plate, more whole foods. So whole foods is just things that just we're just not getting a whole lot of combination and throwing it all together and creating these terrible foods that are all packaged, processed stuff, and they're processing more and more and more. And look, let's just got to look at how obese people the world is becoming, especially in Western worlds. America has one of the largest obese problems in the world, and they're one of the richest countries in the world, mostly because they're not eating these whole foods, and they're just chasing this really go fast situation, and eating a lot of processed and junk food because it's all paid for, like I don't know the words for it, but the government gives a lot of money into those systems to produce these foods, and they're not high quality at all. And I really take my hat off to them recently, because they're looking at this situation and trying to solve an epidemic of people just being really overweight and really unhealthy. So, some of the things we can start off with growing is like your herbs. It's just your basic Mediterranean herbs, like your basils, your parsley, your oregano, marjorams, garlic chives, anything that you use in cooking, and that you would use fairly regularly, and just grow them in containers. And once you've buy good quality containers that can handle the sun for quite a long time. So don't go for the little cheap stuff. Unless you can find second-hand materials, and then you can do it quite cheaply. There's a problem with good soils and things like that, but you need to just do your research on what are good quality potting mixes and things that you can absolutely grow food in. Now, a lot of people would go, oh yeah, but Marty, there's all these problems with the potting mixes and all that type of stuff. But if you can just get started and build yourself out, and don't worry too much, just go for a really good quality potting mix, and then slowly start to understand what's in these mixes, and you would start adding composts and things like that, and start understanding to learn how to grow food. You'd be really surprised that over time, as you're sort of expanding out, you end up saving a lot more than you think. Like, it costs around about $7, so $3.50 for a small bunch of basil at the local shop at the moment. And so you got to buy at least 2 bunches, a big family, maybe 3 bunches. So there's like over $10 just to do like some type of Italian meal that you might use to add basil into it. And if you're doing like a pizza, you might use like some basil, some oregano, some thyme, not thyme, but basil, oregano, parsley would be a mix that would go into a tomato paste, these type of things. And you start learning these other skills, these homesteading skills, just small little ones, where you can add to becoming more of a whole food system. So that's probably, I said I was going to bring up more points, but the video's gone for quite some time. And I think that's the biggest point really, is understanding that we need to start eating fresher food to get healthy, stay young. Our health is our perfect wealth. And then we can keep moving forward from there. I know this is a huge topic. We could be on this actual video or a live show all day just to talk about this, but I think that's one of the main points that we need to look at, is start growing food at home to get healthy, feel young and feel good. And you eventually, over time, you will start saving money. If you stick with it, you'll get better at it, and you will really start enjoying it. And I reckon people here on the community can leave some really good tips down below, so check them out, guys. Get into them, share your tips for growing for renters at home, what really has worked for you, where your struggles have been, and let's try and keep the negative away from it. I really want to create this positive vibe of getting healthy and growing fresh food at home and understanding how it's done. All right, have a great day, happy gardening, and we'll see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.